Hey, spiritual superstars. I'm Nicole, and if you're wondering what really happened, 3D, 4D, and 5D, let's discuss that today. And why do you want to know that? Well, there's different things that happen in each dimension, and you're able to manifest your reality by tapping into that knowledge and applying it. And we call that practical spiritual guidance. That's what we teach at spiritualguidanceacademy.com. So after this video, get on over to spiritualguidanceacademy.com and learn more about how you can apply your spiritual guidance to your life and really take your life back by leaps and bounds. I'm Nicole, founder of Spiritual Guidance Academy, where I help you learn how to master your spiritual gifts, learn all about spiritual guidance, and how to hear from the Most High. So type in your 4 ones. Let's take a beautiful deep breath in, raise our vibration, challenging our human, kissing our higher self, and exhale. Letting out all the doubt, the fear, all that negativity. So the third dimension is often what you hear people say, we live in the 3D. We don't. We actually don't. You are the soul within your human. And that understanding lets you know that you are infinitely abundant and you are immortal. Your human is mortal. Your human lives on a very limited, very fixed existence. And once you realize who you really are, you understand what you can really achieve in that limited lifespan or life overall, the lifetime. So let's start just really quickly with the first 2 dimensions. The first dimension, or 1D, actually many of you remember from math. Some of you are studying it now. We have very young spiritual superstars. X-axis, that's the first dimension. It gives us length, right? And we've learned about arrays and rays and vertices and angles and geometric shapes, and that has everything to do with it, and it absolutely is spiritual. So that first dimension, or the 1D, is what exists only in terms of length. It has no discernible qualities other than that. And then we get the second dimension, or the 2D. And I'm sure you've already guessed that. It's a very humanly logical explanation of what I'm sharing with you. And so that should really appease your human side. But remember, spirituality is really in sync with who you are infinitely and abundantly, and that is the soul within you. The second dimension is the y-axis, or height. And you get that second dimensional shape on a y-axis. And we've seen on a grid where those 2 points collide, and it gives that cross section, right? So then we have this third dimension. It involves the depth of it. The Z axis, it gives that area, a cross section. It gives you that I can put my hand through it. It's a cube. Unlike the second dimension, or the 2D, looks more like a square shape. Now, the third dimension being a cube, giving depth, we look at our human, we look at objects in this life that people call 3D, and we can see structures. You live in a home that has depth. You can literally live in that depth. But here's the thing. It's still all a perception. I want you to really do this exercise with me right now, because you will see how much this is a perception. This is the lie that we live in. I want you to do this, and I want you to share this, especially with children, so that their unlimited, untapped potential is not killed by some educators that, quite frankly, I believe as a retired educator, shouldn't even be teaching anymore. Okay, I think we all have had a situation where a teacher has said something that was like, why would you say that to a child? We don't want that. And also, society teaches children through TV, and often we have already been taught, so we're teaching our children or the youth unknowingly. So, I want you to do this so that you can tap back into your untapped, unlimited potential that was that of a child before being taught limitation. Close one eye. Now open it and close the other. What happens? When you look at an object, the object seems to change, does it not? Look at Aset, Goddess Isis, as some of you know her to be. Look at her ornament. Now close your left eye, open it and close your right eye. Just alternate that. Didn't it look like it changed? Your human eyes are only as good as the perception in which your human brain allows it to see. Your humans see in a very logical way. You, as the soul within your human, see in a very unlimited spiritual way, because you are the soul that controls the mind. And the mind is nothing we have ever seen through our human eyes. So your human is unable to see the vision of your dreams. Your human is only able to see the perception of what is before her or him. The perception. And the human's perception is that factual. You close one eye, the object looks like it's standing over here. You alternate eyes, it looks like it moved over here. You open both eyes, it looks like it's in the middle perfectly fine. But is it? Or is it that's the way that your human eyes are able to perceive it? That being said, you must know that if your human eyes are that faulty and limited, then you must know that the vision that you keep seeing, and we all have seen visions, we all have dreamt, we all have fantasized. Look at the child. Look at how imaginative a child's play is like. I want you to comment in the comment section a dream that you've held on to since childhood. Share it. And here's the tricky part. I want you to share it as though it has already been manifested. Why? Because that's the secret to the law of attraction, to the secret that Rhonda Burns wrote about, to the secret in which you exist. That is how you manifest that very thing. You not only speak it into existence, but you reprogram your human's brain into believing that that is what she or he is actually looking at. We do that in the fourth dimension. The fourth dimension is limitless. The fourth dimension is all things possible, and it is like a highway. If you can imagine the busiest highway of all kinds of roads going everywhere, and tunnels and bridges and twists and turns at any given point. Everything from the first, the second, the third, and everything that isn't there. A deeper level of possibilities begins to form. And once we move into the fifth dimension, we have an even greater possibility of a world that arises as we begin to manifest that which we so desire. We have crossed dimensions. We have gone past the limited conscious reality that we were taught of, well, if we look at an object, this is where it stands. But if I close one eye, it's moving. Now, how is that? So we know that there is a timeless reality based on that. It's very simple to theorize and then make it real by putting it into practice. You have thought back in time and you have received confirmation through your Akashic record, which is your spiritual blueprint, that you have traveled to other dimensions, and your historical lives, as you have seen yourself in a different image, but you have felt in that vision or in that dream that it is absolutely you. How do you know that? And this is very important because you will view yourself as yourself. And you will know that that is you. You are experiencing that scene that you are recalling. And why does that defy human logic? Because our human knows, if I look at this again in that third dimension and look at this, it's right there. But if I close my left eye, it's over here. If I close my right eye, it goes over here. If I go back and forth, it's moving. If I open both my eyes, it stands still. So the human sees the lie exists in the third dimension. And that's why people, structures, government systems, the matrix that lives in the third D that makes up the 3D is false. It is a perception that we are taught. And once we move past that perception, we then understand that, whoa, wait a minute. There's way more to life than what I have to accept because I'm living it and I'm applying it. Therefore, even though it's blowing my human's brain, it is very real. And I get to own that experience and not be told that I'm not having this spiritual experience while my human is living in the third dimension that some call life. I don't live there. My human does. But my human also knows so much more now. And so it is going to blow your human's mind. And that's why your brain has to be reprogrammed. Your brain is attached to the five senses, spiritual superstars. Even if you have a deficiency, even if you have some weakness in your five senses, even if you are an amputee, if you have any kind of void in your five senses, you still have those senses. I was a celebrity massage therapist. Tell your story very quickly to help you understand that concept in Atlanta. And one of my clients was on worked in stocks, and he had a deficiency in his smell. He could not smell. And it was a medical term that he was diagnosed with, and from birth, that he could not smell. And when I asked him, what type of essential oils would you like to use for your session? He said, it doesn't matter because I can't smell. I said, it absolutely matters because you can smell. And he looked at me, and his eyebrows dented in. And he said, and he named the disease. He said, I cannot smell anything, no matter what, so it doesn't matter. I said, it absolutely matters. I'm not going to say it again. I respect what you've been told, but now I'm sharing with you that you deserve to smell what you want to smell. So what is it that you'd like to smell? And he just smiled. And he said, what do you suggest? And so I told him I'll leave it as a surprise. He said, okay. And so I did that. I put it on his face mask on the massage table and the face cover. I put it on his linen. And I put it in his massage oil. After his massage, I asked him to take a beautiful deep breath in and tell me the scents, the fragrances that I used for his session. And he laughed big time. And he said, what do you mean? I told you I can't smell it. I said, yes, you could. You reacted to it. He said, you're a great massage therapist. I reacted to your techniques. You're awesome. Your hands. You're a healer. I said, you reacted to the experience. So what did I use? He said, well, I felt very at peace and very tranquil. I felt very soft. I felt happy, but I felt very relaxed. I said, I used lavender. He said, but I also felt kind of, happy, and almost like, you can get that spritz if you are cutting open or peeling an orange, and you get that kind of that sensation if it goes in your nose. I said I used orange and lemon. I used those three, and he picked right up on it. So spiritual superstars, and it blew him away. And not to mention, I walked out of there with a couple $1,000s and a tip. They treated me very well. My point is this. You have to reprogram your human's brain. Your current circumstances are not your truth. They are not your reality. They are temporary. So when we vibrate from the third, the fourth, to the fifth, we are living in an infinitely abundant realm of possibilities. Create those opportunities and speak the life that you choose to live into existence by reprogramming your brain. If you like this video, which I hope that you do, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and come back for more spiritual guidance. It is free. And get on over to spiritualguidanceacademy.com, where we explore even more. Mwah! I love y'all. Today is New Year's Eve. So happy, blessed New Year. Make it the way you want it by manifesting it using the same principles that I shared with you today. I love y'all, spiritual superstars. Rock it out.